November 21st, 1985 was a big day for the Famicom. It was the first time that we got 4 games in a single day. Each of the 4 are minor games that have some odd significance. And I'm going to start with Pachicom because it's the one that has the most obvious significance. It also happens to be the worst of the 4, and it's the worst Famicom game we've seen so far. Pachicom is obviously short for Pachinko Computer. It's the first of many Pachinko games we're going to see on the Famicom. And as the first Pachinko game, it was actually a bit of a hit in Japan. To give a 30-second summary of Pachinko, it's Japan's national gambling obsession. Casinos dedicated to it can be found on virtually every block. The game has changed a lot in the past couple of decades, but in the 80s, Pachinko were electromechanical machines. You got a bunch of little silver balls that you pumped into the machine and launched into a pegboard area. If a ball goes into a hole, more balls come out of the machine. Eventually, you either run out of balls or go cash in the balls that you have for a prize, which you then sell next door for actual cash because that's how they dodge the gambling laws. So Pachicom brings the excitement of that game home. But much like pretty much every gambling video game, the odds are heavily stacked in the player's favor. I don't think it's possible to lose Pachicom. I intentionally tried to make balls not hit targets, and I still scored enough to keep my total growing. There's 2 different game modes, one where your goal is to score 3,000 balls as quickly as possible, and the other where you have a fixed time limit to run up your score as high as you can. Both of them are excruciatingly long. The thing is, there's exactly 2 things you can do in Pachicom. You adjust the strength of your shot by pressing left and right, and then you hold down A to launch balls. That's it. There's enough variance in the shot that there's no reason to actually try to aim at anything. As long as you're clearing the edge, you'll get some balls. So eventually, I just used a rubber band to hold down my shots, and walked away. I did find that the shot power gradually reduces, so you'll need to use 2 rubber bands for this strategy. The game will either randomly pick out a pachinko board for you to play, or you can select one of them. They're numbered up to 370, but it's not continuous, and all of them just switch out one of the play elements. Those elements are pretty restricted, so really there's only about 4 pachinko boards. The biggest excitement in the game is that sometimes a ball will get stuck, and then you'll have this little man that you have to walk over, pick up the ball, and drop it into the bottom. Thrilling gameplay there. So this is a pretty terrible game. It's basically a game of all chance, no skill, and it's rigged so you can't lose. You might have noticed the annoying siren that plays with any machine event. That brings me to the only cool thing about Pachicom. A disgruntled programmer left a very long, angry rant written in ASCII in the ROM. Of course, since this is Pachicom, it's still only the second best angry rant hidden inside a Famicom game. And now I will perform a dramatic reading of the angry rant, based loosely on the Cutting Room Floor's translation of it. I'm gonna say what I want here. Mr. Gohara from JPM does absolutely nothing but give me all sorts of crap. Shut up, you idiot! Deg, Nana, Koya from Company T, you idiots say one thing, and then something else later all the time. I spent all night doing what you told me to. Don't say to me it was better before. You use select to put the joy right? That'll make it +1, you moron. You're an audio company. Quit ignoring pachinko sounds and trying to put these weird things in instead. Do you want it to be this hard to hear the balls? I've left the previous sounds in, so edit this if you want to hear it. Set hex address AFFC to 1FAF and AFC4 to E0EE to get decent sound. Company T, you jerk. Go, you idiot. Anybody can tell you what sounds good. Does N Corporation really develop with Company I's Pro S80? I'm shocked they can make stuff on that weird machine. Do they not use any art tools either? If you're sick of doing things that way, I'll sell you Bear's art machine and debugger for 5 million yen. Call me at 03-864-6880. That's cheap if you want decent art. Why did they take out the 6502's decimal mode? It's a decimal computer. Did they screw up the mask cutting or something? Anyone who finds this is a pervert. There's another message hidden in MSX Pachicom. If you're a pervert, buy it and check it out. It's in Okinawan dialect, though. Don't tell anybody you saw this! By YS. So I used an emulator to make the modifications that Mr. Sakakura described. It basically drops the wailing noise out. Doesn't do much for the rest of the game, though.